Hey everyone, and welcome to another recap of Game of Thrones. This episode was pretty freaking epic. I'm Matt Galvin, and I'm here with
Aaron, coming to you live from King's Landing.
Yeah, King's Landing, the wall.
I've been waiting to say that joke for weeks.
Or this is like, this is literally the wall. It looks like kind of like an ice wall, you know? Maybe.
No.
King's
Landing.
Looks like King's Landing. All right, we're in King's Landing then. So season 7, episode 6. Pretty crazy stuff. We pick up like right where we left off. Last episode, they were all like gonna go get a White Walker so they could prove to Cersei and King's Landing that they should all join forces and fight the real enemy, which is the White Walkers, which is like crazy suicide mission. That whole group: Jorah, Jon Snow, Gendry,
Beric,
and
Thoros,
and
the Hound,
and 3 other random guys that they could just kill. So they start to go out there. And they're all having like kind of like different conversations with each other. Some are funny, some are kind of like relevant because you haven't seen a lot of these characters like interact with each other.
Right. We have seen them interact with maybe in Jon's case, Jon was with Jorah's father for a long time.
He was the head of the Night Watch.
Exactly. And then you have the Hound who has this battle with Brienne, but Tormund is in love with her. So they all have interactions with people. They all have something that connects them in some way.
Exactly. So the funny one was obviously the Hound talking to him about Brienne and how he has a crush on her and they're going to make amazing babies that will devour the earth and stuff like that. Jorah and Jon Snow. So yeah, he knew his father. So then Jon Snow offers the sword back because he got that from his father.
He says he wanted you to have it. I'm not worthy. Yours.
Yeah, and then Gendry is talking to the 2 that sold him to the Red Witch, which is kind of funny. And the Hound's just like, get over it, you pussy, basically. Yeah.
They're walking along and searching for, this White Walker they're trying to capture, and then a blizzard just comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see anything. And man, this thing was scary.
Shocker, it's a giant zombie bear, a White Walker bear, and it made my fiance jump for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't jump. I'm a badass, I guess, but like Nas definitely was like, like
scary.
It was because it was pretty violent. Yeah, it eats again one of the no face B characters that no one knows who they are.
Down to 2 of those guys.
Down to 2 like random no face guys, and then it's like eating.
Thoros.
Yeah, it's eating him, and then he still kind of heals up, though, a bit.
Right, so he gets pretty destroyed by this bear, and Beric just takes his flame sword and then sticks it on Thoros,
seals the
wound. I'm thinking well, eventually we're getting a little ahead, but he dies. Why not just let him die there in a cool way? Why not bring him back for 20 minutes so he can just die in his sleep?
Because I still thought it was cool, that end scene, but yeah, I get what you're saying. He could have died from a bear. The only thing I will say, which I thought my red flag wasn't that. My red flag was like, they just got the Dragonstone. Why do they use regular swords? I don't understand. Like, why not fashion weapons out of the Jon Snow super stuff where you kill one
and they have Gendry there,
and they all explode?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't have time, but it just seems like a poorly thought out plan.
Or maybe they did.
And it's a little bit sloppy because, again, this is going to go into spoilers. It's like, they go, Daenerys is like, I'm too busy to do it. And then she drops everything in the end and comes and that's a spoiler. But, like, it's like, the plan should have been from the start. Send the dragon in to go get it. But I guess they thought it was too big of a risk. But it just...
and also
it just seems like a really poor plan to go send these guys without dragon glass made weapons, without dragons, to just go get a White Walker from a giant army. They're basically on a mountain and they see like a couple White Walkers, but not all of them.
Right, they see one White Walker leading his minions. And they're like, oh shit, this is our time to go capture one.
Right, and so they go down there and they're trying to get one and then trying to get his jaw and stuff so he stops yelling because again, Jon Snow kills one and multiple blowed up. So it's like, I guess the theory that they come up with is if you kill one that turned the others, it kills all the other ones too.
Right.
So he kills one and a lot to blow up, but this other one doesn't, who I guess was turned by a different one. And so then they try to capture that one, but it starts yelling. And then suddenly you hear like this kind of like
pretty
noise.
Shriek.
Yeah. And the noise is basically like a stampede.
They send Gendry back to the wall to send a raven
to get Daenerys.
To get Daenerys. To send the dragons over to help them. I thought Gendry wasn't going to make it, just he was going to pass out and die.
Yeah,
He ran the whole time. In the cold?
In the cold.
I would go for 30 seconds and I'd be dead.
Yeah, probably true. True story. No, me too, man. I'm not saying it's just you, but
you would make it 45 seconds.
Thanks, dude. Yeah. They're just like, running away from the zombies, and they're carrying this zombie, They get onto this like ice field, but then the zombies start falling into the lake.
Right.
So they end up in this circle stone in the middle of it, and all the zombies are kind of like they're dumb enough. They're not like super smart, but they're dumb enough to understand if they go forward, they're gonna fall into the lake and then be lost forever, unless you're Jon Snow. And so they just are waiting, and then it becomes kind of like this thing where it's like these guys have the zombie, but they're surrounded by everyone. Even the Night King is there watching them on the top.
They're waiting for basically the ice to freeze over again.
They say, we need to just go kill the Night King, otherwise, this will end everything. He probably is the original one, so if you kill him, all of them probably will die.
So they're stuck in this rock and surrounded by, all these White Walkers and Whites for a long time.
Yeah.
Overnight, to the point where Thoros freezes to death.
Yep.
And, he already had his wounds. He was weak. He doesn't make it. So
no more healing for his buddy.
Right. So there's 6 left and 2 randoms.
Yeah, 2 randoms. Of course, the Hound is bored, and he starts throwing rocks.
Right, because one rock hits him in the face.
Yeah, and takes off his jaw.
The next rock just bounces right in front of him. So he's like,
It's like hard enough now that we could probably cross.
I like how this zombie White Walker guy, he like has logic. He's like, wait, it didn't break, so I can walk now. So
they have a little bit of logic.
They're pretty smart.
And then so they all start swarming, which is like one of the most epic scenes because it's just like everyone prepares and they're just like killing and fighting as best they can. Like Jorah's doing good. The guy with his flame sword is doing good. Jon Snow always. He's just the BA.
There's the one random, and people are laughing about this online, which is pretty funny. If you look at, there's one shot where they're all fighting someone, and then there's one of the random guys who was there helping them, one of the random wildlings, is just fighting no one. They forgot to CGI.
Really? Oh, that's funny. It's getting really bad, John. They keep pulling back because they have to save that one zombie, and they can't kill any main ones because then they're afraid the one they've captured will blow up. So they move back and they're moving back and they're moving back, and it looks like people are dying. Looks like Tormund is almost about to die.
He's in a bad situation.
Yeah, and then Jorah saves him.
No, the Hound saves him.
Oh, the Hound saves him.
The Hound was pissed off at him because of Brienne.
Yeah.
You think, these two aren't going to get along, and the Hound at the last minute, and I felt kind of bad. I thought, oh shit, Tormund's not going to make it. He's screaming,
I thought he was dead too.
Help me.
Yeah.
Man. And then the Hound just comes out of nowhere, boom, saves the day.
Yeah, and that's because you didn't think they liked each other. He was kind of giving him shit about fire. Like the Hound, again, also with the bear, was scared of fire. That's the Hound's fear because he was burned when he was young by his brother.
I'm glad Tormund made that one.
Yeah, me too. I thought he might die. Actually shocked that less people died than I thought.
Jon was the only one going to make it out.
I thought, I thought Jon was the only one that was gonna make it out. A lot of people survived.
I'm glad it was only Thoros, because that guy had stupid haircut. Which when I looked at his face, I got annoyed.
That was it, yeah. But now that guy with the flame sword no longer, get resurrected.
He doesn't have a priest anymore to revive him.
Exactly, he's screwed. They send the raven off to Daenerys. Daenerys and Tyrion are kind of at conflicts with each other because he still thinks she went too far with the violence. He's trying to calm her down where she killed those two and thinks they shouldn't be the thing. He's trying to stand up to her because he doesn't want her to become bad or the Mad King. And he's trying to balance her out.
Right, but he has a good point where he says that you have to think as if you are your enemy because you gotta follow the steps that they're gonna take.
Right.
And he tells her maybe you should start thinking of an heir.
Yep.
Who you can't have children. Who's gonna take your place when you die?
Right.
She's like, I'm not gonna do that now. Once I take over, then I'll have then I'll name my heir.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyrion knows that it's very likely that she's not gonna make it to that point.
It's dangerous.
It's considering
they're at war, White Walkers, all this crazy
and how
stuff.
reckless she has been at times.
Yeah.
He knows that it's possible that she's not going to even get to that point. So she has to have someone who stands for everything that she stands for, that the people will get behind, just in case something should happen. Otherwise, everything's done. King's Landing and Westeros would be a miserable place with Cersei.
And Tyrion's trying to convince Daenerys not to go. And he's just like, please, we need you. You're our queen. Everything is lost. If you go, there's going to be consequences. She's like, no, I love Jon Snow so much. I love Jon Snow. I must save him.
But you can tell, that was a big part of her decision.
Oh, yeah.
Was Jon was in trouble.
Yeah, she loved Jon. Takes all 3 dragons, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Not 1, but 3.
Because last time she just took the 1 and look what they did. So
I know.
3 against the White Walkers, game over, right?
Right. She's running in there, and then she's doing damage. Like you said, it was kind of predictable.
Right.
Because it gets all slow motion.
Everything was slow motion. And that's just the rule of movies and TV. When things go in slow motion and things look bleak, someone comes out of nowhere to save the day.
Yep.
Always.
And she flies in, she's killing all the White Walkers with the dragon, the flames are just taking everyone out. She lands, and everyone is trying to, like, get on and stuff quickly. Jon Snow, for some reason, is trying to hold him back. The Night King makes these, like, crazy, like, spear things, and Jon sees that he's gonna throw it at the dragon, kill the dragon, or Daenerys.
So Qyburne's plan wasn't too far off with the spear. Like, he was onto something. He just didn't know you had to freeze them.
He aims and throws it and kills the dragon, which is pretty sad.
Yeah, it was sad. You saw the poor guy
Falls
right into the ice,
falls
into the
painfully
water.
in the ice, and then sinks into the ice, dead.
Poor guy. And you can see Daenerys is like, oh,
That's because one of her kids. She said, "These are my kids."
And
you
not
know?
even-
Like, if I lose one of them,
yeah,
it's like a kid.
That's like her children, but now she sees the true threat that these White Walkers, they took out her dragon when no one else was able to.
Exactly.
Night King didn't seem scared at all. He was just hanging out there. He's like, oh, you know
Guys-
what? Calling a shot.
Yeah, that guy's chill as fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh!" And he tries to do it again, and Jon Snow's just like, "Go!" Because she sees then it's gonna be dangerous. She takes off. Jon Snow then actually gets dragged into the water by like 2 White Walkers, and again, Jon Snow, badass, like to 100 now.
Yeah.
I don't know how he survived this. It's a little far-fetched. He goes in freezing water with 2 White Walkers. He climbs out, and then he's freaking, again, they see him, and he's like, tired, almost dead.
And he's ready to fight.
He's ready to fight. It's Jon Snow.
But this time he's screwed. He has no help. There's no one there to help.
But that's not true,
Yeah.
because who shows up?
Uncle Benjen.
Da-da-da. He comes in all cloaked. You don't know who he is. He's swooping his little fire thing around. He puts Jon on the horse and hits the horse, and Jon takes off, and then he's there fighting, and I think he's dead. But you think maybe he's going to come back and do more stuff.
I think there's more to Benjen than that. I mean, I don't think we didn't see him for 6 years, and all of a sudden he shows up, talks to Bran.
Well, we saw him talk to Bran.
Then he shows up, saves Jon, and boom, that's the end of Benjen.
I think he's dead. I think there's 6 episodes left after this.
There might be more.
7, right? No, 7 episodes left after this. I think he's a dead man. So then back at the wall, Daenerys is like waiting for Jon, just like, give it another moment to Jorah. And Jorah's like, yo, let this go because then we could be together, because he's still in love with her, but he's friend zoned for life. Poor
The rest
Jorah.
of the guys are just packing up the boats. The dragon's still flying around.
They're ready to go, but then of course they see something and open the gate. It's Jon Snow. He's really thick, and then Daenerys and him are like bonding. They're holding hands now, and she basically says that like, now I see that these are the real enemies. You're right. We're gonna, killed one of my dragons. Like, we're gonna go back and join forces. And then he bends the knee. He's like, yes, my queen. So finally, he's like, if I could, I would. So, and she's like shocked. She's like, oh my gosh, like you did what I wanted, and I'm doing what you wanted. So they're coming together as like a team and falling in love.
Yeah. So she
Next episode with Arya and Sansa back at Winterfell.
Right, so Arya confronts her about the note that she found. And this is another scene where I thought just didn't make any sense to me. Because, one, Arya comes at her so hard with this. And remember what you said the note last week was that she was basically a note forgiving Joffrey for killing.
Right. She was forced to write this by Cersei.
And Littlefinger planted it to kind of put something between them.
Yep.
Yeah. So Arya confronts Sansa about this, and she doesn't even ask, where did you find this note? Or let me explain. Arya just like, you're a traitor. What are they going to do what are the Winterfell going to do when they find out about this?
Yeah.
What's Jon going to think about this?
And then Sansa's kind of trying to be like, look, I was a young girl, and I couldn't save Dad. And then Arya's kind of being ridiculously like a hypocrite, and she's like, I was there, you didn't do anything. And then she's like, well, if you were there, you didn't save him either. Like neither one of us could. And then like they're both kind of like saying like, the stuff I went through, you couldn't have done.
Right.
Like we both went through pain, but they don't know, so they're at odds with each other. And I think Arya's kind of being like more aggressive about it, where she's basically like, you're, like Jon might forgive you, he's super nice and believe your story, but I don't. These sisters are now, splintered.
Well, we know the truth, and Sansa doesn't do a good job of really defending herself.
No, she doesn't, but Arya is so aggressive.
And then she starts kind of mocking Arya, like, while I was, being tortured by all these people, you wouldn't travel the world.
Yeah, with Littlefinger's help, she saved Jon Snow at the Battle of the Bastard.
She said the reason why Winterfell is in our hands now is because of me.
Yeah.
I saved them, not Jon.
Not Jon.
So later on, she's going through Arya's stuff to try to find this note, presumably just to burn it and get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of the evidence.
And she finds the faces
Yeah, she finds all these faces, which are kind of like plastic. I thought they were like actual, like some sort of like real
No, I think
face.
they're literally faces.
Yeah.
They just look plastic.
They look plastic,
Yeah.
so.
And she confronts Arya about this. And this is, I was trying to think, the way Arya's talking, maybe this isn't Arya. I was expecting her to rip her face off with someone else.
She says I could replace you. Like, she's even trying to imply that maybe she could take over Sansa.
She can become Sansa.
Yeah.
And then another thing, I mean, this is getting into more, theory territory. But this was one thing that I noticed that I didn't mention, and I started looking more into it, and there is a lot of talk about this in the internet world, is when Bran first came back to see Sansa, she embraces him, gives him a hug, and Bran just stays there. Later on, Arya gives him a hug, and he, hugs her back. So, I mean, that might seem something little, but, we know what's going to happen. We know what Bran does, what he can do, what he sees. So does he see something that Sansa did? And that's why he's not on her, and that's why he kind of mocked her about the night she got married and the night that she was raped. There's something there.
I'm not buying it.
Really?
No. And I think that's it. Is there anything else in the episode that we missed?
Oh yeah, something.
Oh yeah, the ending. The end little twist.
These nasty, evil zombie White Walker guys, they're pulling these chains.
Where they got the chains? Who knows? They have giant chains though.
Yeah, they have a steel mill up north.
Yeah? White Walkers are just... These guys are pretty smart.
Like every evil villain has an army of people working in like...
He's got zombie blacksmiths, yeah.
So they're pulling out
Just
the
don't
dragon.
think about it too much.
They're pulling out the dragon.
The king, turns the dragon, touches it, and then its eye goes blue.
Same color as your eye.
Super blue, I'm a White Walker. And that's it, so now he's got a dragon. And I knew this was always going to happen. I didn't know that it was going to be one of her dragons that was turned to a dragon, but I always said, I bet you he has a zombie dragon. But I just thought he was, holding it back.
He's a zombie dragon.
No, he has a zombie dragon. Yeah, he has a zombie dragon. I always thought that the Night King has the zombie dragon and was just holding it back. I didn't know that he was going to turn one of her dragons onto his side.
Right. So not only did she lose one of her dragons,
but now it's going to be fighting against her.
Fighting against her, and that weakens her not only against them, the White Walkers, but also against Cersei.
It also strengthens the White Walkers by 10. They have a zombie dragon. How are you going to kill that thing? You're going to have to, again, a big bow, but it's going to have to be dragon glass.
Yeah, but I thought the bear was scary.
Yeah, now this is zombie dragon. This is next level stuff. But one more episode, it's gonna be freaking epic.
Yeah. And what do you make now? Because there was this theory of the three, the dragon has 3 heads. There's gonna be 3 dragon riders and all that. So Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion. But now we know, okay, the 3rd dragon is dead. So is that theory just dead now? Is Tyrion a Targaryen after all, or is he not?
We don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting thing.
Maybe the Night King.
The Night King. It could be.
A lot of good things happen in this episode. Good battles, good action. I just think the actual storyline in this one just didn't make a lot of sense, and it kind of things happen just for the sake of happening.
Yeah.
And a lot of things were a little too convenient. How does Gendry run all the way over there?
I think
send the Raven flies, they get the message, they fly all the way back, and they're still sitting on this rock.
I think, again, Game of Thrones is still better than 99.99 anything on television.
Even bad Game of Thrones.
Even bad Game of Thrones, but definitely this season is very condensed, and a lot of things feel like they just happen because they're supposed to happen. Characters meet for literally no reason, or come together for no reason, let things go for no reason, just so we can have all these characters together. And then, like you said, it just feels like everything is so convenient and so fast.
It's a valid complaint because that's what made this series, Game of Thrones, so different from other series.
The older seasons, yeah.
Everything in most television shows are rushed, get to the point. This really took the time to not only build the stories, but to build the characters on their journey going from place to place.
Oh yeah, when they went from Winterfell to King's Landing the first time in season 1, it was like a trek.
Three episodes at least.
Yeah.
And on that way, we had so much growth from all the different characters. We learned who Joffrey really was. We learned that about Arya and Sansa. They don't really like each other.
Ned's relationship with Robert.
We learned a bunch about the Targaryens and the backstory there. There's a lot of stuff we learn in these gaps in the story.
Yep.
Whereas this season, everything kind of seems just kind of rushed.
Wrap it up.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're just in wrap-up mode, which is kind of what happened with Lost in the last couple seasons. They just cut out all the good stuff. Tried to force everything down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good, and it definitely hurts the end product. But still looking forward to what happens next. Yeah, and we'll be here to cover it for you. thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let us know your theories, and yeah.
And correct us.
And correct us, because we're wrong constantly. Well, at least I am, not Aaron.
I'm perfect.
Aaron's perfect. Boom. Is our new catchphrase? Boom.
We're never doing it.